my name is Allison. I'm the Programs Outreach and Youth Services Manager here at Monterey County Free Libraries. Thank you for joining me today for another episode of Book Chat Teens. Today I'm going to chat with you about this book, A Snake Falls to Earth by Darcie Little Badger. So this is a fairly new book. It came out in 2021 and it was nominated for some awards. It got a Newbery Honor Award. And it is the second book by Darcie Little Badger. The first one was Alison, which came out a couple years ago, and that book also got a lot of really good reviews and was actually named one of Time magazine's best 100 fantasy books of all time. So a little bit about Darcie Little Badger. Here is her author picture in the back of the book. She is an earth scientist, writer, and fan of the weird, beautiful, and haunting. She is an enrolled member of the Lipan Apache tribe of Texas. And she writes books with native main characters that really intertwine a lot of mythology, different elements from her cultural heritage. So this particular book, A Snake Falls to Earth, is told in alternating perspectives. So we have two main characters. We have Nina, who is a human living on Earth, and she is very interested in animal spirit people, and she talks a lot about and does a lot of research about the joined era when Earth was connected to a spirit realm. And she is inspired by all of this when her great-great-grandmother Rosita passes away when Nina is 9 years old. And Rosita doesn't speak English very much, and she tries to tell Nina a story, but Nina doesn't understand it, and her translation app doesn't translate it, and her parents think it's because it is a tribal dialect that isn't recognized by her translation app. So Nina spends the next few years trying to translate this story and figure out what the story is about. And in the meantime, the other perspective that we have is Ollie. And Ollie is a cottonmouth, and he is part of the reflective world, so the spirit world where these animal humans exist. And these animal people have two forms. They have their true form, which is their animal selves, and their false form, which is what they look like when they transform into human. And Nina and Ollie's paths intersect when Ollie's friend, who is a small toad named Ami, gets very, very, very sick and goes unconscious. And this happens in Ollie's world when that animal is becoming extinct on Earth. And so Ollie gathers a bunch of his friends together and decides that he is going to travel to Earth to figure out what happened to Ami's species and why Ami is so sick, so that he can hopefully come back and help Ami to heal. And along the way of this book, you get to know Ollie and his friends very well. There are a lot of stories that read like little myths about the adventures Ollie and his friends get into. And like I said, it's alternating chapters between Nina and Ollie. So while you're learning more about Ollie's background and how he met his friends and how those relationships formed, Nina is doing her research on Earth, and about, I'd say 2/3 of the way through the book, the two characters finally meet up, and a lot of the big action takes place. So it is kind of a longer book. It's 372 pages. And like I said, each chapter kind of reads like its own little story. But it's very moving. It's very suspenseful once the action gets started. And you really want to know what's going to happen with Nina and Ollie and if they're going to be able to save Ami. And there's some other action points along the way. There are forces on Earth that are trying to rid the Earth of all the spirit people that visit, so they have to be wary of those. Nina is doing a lot of stuff with her family. Her grandma is getting sick, and she's discovering a lot of stuff about the land that her grandma lives on. So there's a lot going on in this book. It's very, very, very good, and it's also really beautifully designed. So I actually bought a copy of this book, and I wanted to show you some of the cool features. So if you take off the jacket, which is one of my favorite things to do, you have this on the front cover, and these are the main characters in the book. So this is Brightest, and these are all the characters in their false form, so in their human forms. So this is Brightest, and he is actually a hawk in his false form, or I mean in his true form. You have Risk and Rain, and they are coyote twin sisters. This is Nina. This is Ollie, and like I said, he's a cottonmouth, and he talks a lot about needing his spectacles. This woman is a bear, and then this is Ami down here, and this is Nina's cat Tightrope. And what's really cool is on the other side, on the back, you have the animals in their true forms. And so when you hold the book open, it corresponds between their false forms and their true forms. And you can see the characters who are only on Earth are missing. So Nina's missing, and her cat is missing. And then you see Brightest, Risk and Rain, Ollie, and the bear, and Ami in their true forms. And so that's really cool. I thought that was really, really special. When I first started reading the book and I looked under, I didn't understand the significance of that. So it was really cool to realize that as I was reading. The other really cool thing is the inside cover design is snakeskin. And so that's a really cool detail that I really appreciated about this book. So the book is really well written and has a very, very cool design. We have it in our collection. I hope that you'll check it out and give it a read. I also really just like this cover design. This was a really, really, really great book. Probably one of my top YA books that I've ever read. I loved it. So give it a read. Let me know what you think. And if you have any other YA books that you'd like to recommend to me, please let me know in the comments below. I will see you next time. Bye, everyone. Hi everybody! As I was editing this video, I realized that I made a mistake in some of my recap, namely that I referred to Brightest, one of the characters in the book, as a he, and Brightest is non-gendered in the story. Brightest is referred to as they, them, and their, and I wanted to make sure that I corrected that because it is important to the plot to acknowledge that there is a non-gendered character within it. So I apologize for that mistake in my recap, and I have addressed it now. Thank you.